Good morning, boys. Last week we have completed chapter number 1. Today I am going to start chapter number 2. That is, name of the chapter is Economic Problems and Economic System. Now, in this chapter, basically we have to discuss what do you mean by economic problems, what are the basic economic problems in any society, and then we have to discuss about what is an economic system, what do you mean by an economic system, and what are the different types of it. So, one by one we are doing. First, I am starting with economic problems. Note it down, in any economy there are three basic economic problems. What are those problems? First problem is what to produce. Second one is how to produce. And number three is for whom to produce. One by one we have to clarify that what is the meaning of each question. First question is what to produce. What is the meaning of what to produce? What to produce implies, see, in any economy, in any country, there are a number of resources. We have so many resources, for example, in our country. With those resources, it is not possible for the country to produce all the goods we need. We may have a variety of resources, but those resources are scarce. In first chapter, I have already discussed that one. Resources are not unlimited in nature; they are limited. So, with these limited stock of resources, you have to first decide that what are the goods I must produce in my country. That is that question. That problem is known as what to produce. This what to produce, that is what are the goods and services I am going to produce in my country. First depends on the availability of resources. The first point on which how what to produce depends is the availability of resources. Higher is the range of availability, higher will be the number of goods and services I can produce. Lower is your availability of goods and services. Lower is the availability of your resources. Lower will be the number of goods and services you can produce in your economy. So first criteria is for this is availability of resources. The first is availability of resources. There is another criteria on which this depends. That is the demand. For example, in your country, there is huge demand for, say, for example, rice. So, the country will produce more rice because the demand is there. If in your country there is huge demand of computers, the country will produce more and more computers. So, this what to produce basically depends on these two criteria: availability of resources in your economy, and number two, the demand for goods and services. Clear? So, my first problem solved. What to produce? Next question is how. We have decided, okay, X, Y, Z, these commodities I am going to produce in my country. Then the second question comes, that how? This how basically implies the technology. What technology we will use? Remember boys, there are two types of technology. One is called labor intensive technology. Labor intensive technology, and another is capital intensive technology. Labor intensive and capital intensive. What is the difference between these two? See, to produce any commodity X, Y, Z, whatever be, I need some amount of labor. Say A is your labor, and I need capital also. Say that capital is K. Now, in which industry L by K, this ratio is high. That is this labor intensive technology. Where labor capital ratio is high, that is more labor relative to capital. That technology is called labor intensive technology. Clear? Similarly, what is capital intensive technology? Where this labor capital ratio is very low, or in other hand, where capital by labor, this ratio is very high. Understood? More capital relative to labor. Got the point? So, labor intensive technology is where L by K ratio is high. Capital intensive technology is where A by K ratio is very high. Now the choice depends on you. Which technology we will use? Labor intensive or capital intensive? This choice also depends on certain criteria. For example, in India, in our country, it is a labor abundant country. We have enough population, we have enough workforce. In our country, if we always adopt this capital intensive technology, then what the problem will emerge? We get the problem of huge unemployment. So in a labor intensive country like India, it is always advised that try to use more and more labor intensive technology so that unemployment problem can be solved. Just on the other side, take the example of Sweden, Germany. These are the capital abundant country. There is scarcity of labor there. So for those countries, the capital intensive technology will be appropriate. Got the point? Therefore, it depends on the entrepreneur, it depends on the environment, it depends on the availability of labor and capital that I take the decision whether I will use labor intensive or capital intensive. Thus, this is the problem number 2. The third and the last economic problem is for whom to produce. That is, I have decided that X and Y are being produced. Then I have decided how, that is which technology I will use. And the last thing I will decide that for whom. That is the market. Where is my market? This implies the concept of market. For whom to produce implies where I will sell my product. Where is the market for my product? I will sell it in the local market. I will sell it in national market. Or I will sell it in international market. That must be solved. That problem must be solved. Clear? So these three are the problems and the meaning are these. What to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. Remember, just in this chapter when I am going to discuss economic system, then I will tell you that in each economic system there are three economic systems: capitalism, socialism, mixed economy. In these three economic systems, in each system, these questions will be answered. That is in capitalism, how to produce, what to produce, for whom. Similarly, in socialism, these three. Similarly, in mixed economy, these three answers different, and that's why the different economic systems are there. Clear? This is all about economic problems. The second point is your question comes: what are the social goals of a government? You please write down that question. Your 2 marks question comes that what are the social goals? What are the social goals of any government? I repeat, what are the social goals of a government? Answer will be consumers and the producers should take their own decision freely. There should not be any type of control. That is freedom. Growth. What is the meaning of growth? Growth implies economic growth here. That is the per capita income, per head income. That should increase continuously. That is growth. What is security? Some of the security is required for all economic agents in the country. In the first chapter, we told you what are the economic agents. So, all the economic agents, it can be household, it can be farm, it can be any other economic agent, they need security, economic security from the government. And the last one is the stability. Stability, that is economic stability, is very much required for a stable growth, economic growth. If you need growth, stability should be there. What is the meaning of stability? Stability implies the price should not be up and down frequently. For example, if the price of any commodity increases or fluctuates very frequently, that creates an uncertainty in the market. That creates uncertainty among the producers and the consumers. And that type of uncertainty hampers economic growth. So that's why stability is also required. So these are the social goals of any government: efficiency, equity, freedom, growth, security, and stability. Okay. So today basically we have done two questions. Number one, what are the economic problems? What are the meaning of that? And number two, we have done what are the social goals of a government. Today up to this, tomorrow or next day I will continue the same chapter but next question.